This daf Yerushalmi Ma'asros. Article Hosva Hador edition with Daf Chav Daf 6 lines at the top. Pinchas, and that is Shema Pinchas, and that is in the Vilna Daf Tes Vav 6 lines from the bottom. So we're trying to be in a raya to what we said yesterday that if somebody dies to Chishu Vadas, then the Shumas they took off. And the before the Brias Pnei Bites, because he was going to care without taking off Truma. But Ma'asros L'chiv only comes actually when you get to the household. And that doesn't necessarily come immediately either. It takes several times to be several years later that they actually get around to it. And that's the famous story that's about to be brought down. From it's in Mishnah Sheni, Gemara Kedushin. And B'chinim B'Shem Pinchas Shama Min La Min Hada. You heard from here that Ma'asros are not necessarily taken off in the field, even if you have in mind to bring the guard home. The thing that I learned over there, when it came to beer Ma'asros, which you do after the in the fourth year or the seventh year of the Shemitah cycle, it says that Gamliel was on a boat. He wasn't home. He's there with the other Chachamim, and when it came Erev Pesach, the time of beer Ma'asros, it says, Shani Osi Lamud, one that they're going to measure out. I'm going to measure out. It wasn't measured out yet. Nothing to Yeshua. It's given to Yeshua, who was the Levium called Muskal, and its place is rented out to him. It's going to get acquired to Yeshua Kinechatzer. Shani Osi Lamud, another tenth they're going to measure out. Nasser Akiva and Yosef, it's given to Rabbi Akiva, who should acquire on behalf of the Anim. Niyam Maz Maisari. Hadamar teaches us Mina Bais. That the Chir Ma'asros is in the house itself, not in the garden field. Chir Ba'aba Shamala Min Hada. Rabbi Chir Ba'aba, and actually the language of the pasuk is the Kamraki Baitzad Vorachov Vav Yagil Biarti HaKodesh Min HaBayis. That's by being Ma'asros. So the Ma'asros takes place in the house. Rabbi Chir Ba'aba Shamala Min Hada. Mishu Perot Sabim Megura. He had his fruit in a stockpile. Nothing sale Bein Levi. The sale Ani. He gave a sale to Ben Levi and said, Lani, Hadam Ramin Abayis. Evidently, the Megura is the stockpile which is in the house. So it teaches us that it's you take off the mice in the house. Rabbi Abu Mori Shama Min Hadoi. Let's have from here. The Tnian Taman, we learned over there, Min Abayis Zeha Chala. You take off the Chala in the house. Ooh, wait a minute. Only Chala. What about the rest? Oh, he's actually not proving Mina Bais. He's saying the opposite. So Sham Mina Dad, not the holds learns the same way. Like I implied when I begin making the statement, which is wrong or an error. But the Tzana Mina Bais Chala Hadamra Mina Sodes. So when this we deduce that the rest of the matanas actually given from the field. So Erchanami, they were taken off actually while he argues on what we said before, basically. Okay, now in the article we have in the next mission, which we have read previously, according to Kavanoki's Mahalach, that it was before the previous Gemara, but let's read it again now. Matzah Ksitzas by Derech, which I think it's also in the building. Yeah, Matzah Ksitzas by Derech, you find cut figs on the road. A field beside so it's even next to the field. So if you have a fig tree which is inclined over the road, must have found the needed figs. Mutashim gazel, no list of gazel. Mutashim nicer the pot for a meiser because they're a hefker. That's because when they fall they get ruined and therefore the owner gives up hope. But olives and carrots, which are tougher, they remain chayav, which was meiser, and of course there's no heter of gazel either. Matzah grogeres, if you found a date, idorsu of neodam, it's I was going to mix up I think it's a date. Matzah grogeres im dorsu of neodam, must have already pressed their dates. Chayev, so this was what's going to be chayev. In other words, it's part of it had the Gemara Malach of Meiser. V'la partim that's exempt. Matzah pilchet vela, if you find slices of fig after they've been pressed into a circle, into barrel. So these are obviously split off of that circle. Your chayv should be dusha. Midavar garment came. We know it came from something which is finished. Otherwise, we wouldn't get this. Evidently, the slices look clear, like they came from a malacha from being pressed in a barrel. Hacharuvin carobs that shlokisam roshagah before you took them to the top of the roof. Morim and lebemo potter. You can take them down from the animal and your potter. Not you, but the animal. Neshu maxir es hamboisar, because you're going to put the rest of it back in order to dry whatever you don't use for the animal. So therefore, all this is temporary. The reason why you yourself can't eat, Marafuta says, because you can only eat in the muktzah. You can't take them somewhere else and eat them. Taking them somewhere else is like reneging, and therefore you can't take them somewhere else to eat. Okay, so now the Gemara says, about Zeis Churim. It says, there's a very interesting difference in girsa between the Kavanaki and the Vilna. Significant change in girsa. So we're going to go with the Vilna. Rabbi Yonah said, "Lamru ella la derech." Maybe we're not going to the Vilna. No, we're going to go with Kavanaki. Lamru ella ba derech. If it's on the road, then it's hefker because he's mizyosh from it. A bein ben chaver, it's between him and his friend lo, because then there's no yish because it's not necessarily going to get crushed. And I said so about this. No, it's about the ksios, the figs. They're not going to get necessarily if they're on the road, going to get crushed over his ears. They're going to be between him and his friend, even though they're no longer his property. Either might be their bias friend, which strip land between the two. But it's not a place where you're going to step, so there's no yesh, and therefore they still remain chayv and chumas and they're not hefker. B'zeis charuvin chulei. Rabbi Yoina v'ushamatza zeisim tacha zeis charuvin tachas charuvin. If you find the olives under the olives and the carobs under the carobs, so then everybody can see, oh, it fell from this olive tree or from that carob tree. Avamotza the you find the olives under the carob tree, the carobs under the olive tree. No. Not in that case, because then we don't assume it fell from his tree. And he probably doesn't assume it fell from his tree. Right? More likely it came from Hefker. So therefore, in that case, we assume that they are potter, nachayim shumas, and they are mutzim shum gezel as well. Okay, so now the Gemara goes on to the next part of the Mishnah, which is in Darsu B'nei Adam. Darsu B'nei Adam. Most people have already pressed their dates. So that's more of a low batim nidrasos. You found in the field, aren't they pressed in the house? So you find in the field, it must be that they were not properly pressed. All right, but no, it's not a bit. There are different scenarios of tipater about situation where most people actually do press in the field. By the any carries in the Doris Drusa. Look, why do we have to go to the majority? Let's go after whether it looks juice or not. Okay, you say a scenario where most people are Doris and Doris. It's a Matthias. Take a look. See, is it Doris or not Doris? So I'm Rabbi Yossi ben Shov. Yossi should some punishing pokas tachas agalgo. Sometimes it rolls out from underneath the pressing wheel. V'nires eno drusa. It is pressed. V'nires eno drusa, but shein drusa doesn't look like it's pressed. Pamisha regel doris, and vice versa. Sometimes somebody steps on it and presses it with his leg. And so v'eno drusa v'nires kedrusa. It's not drusa, and yet it looks like it's drusa. So that's why we go after the rove. What rove do if they do in the southern of the house? Lezer. Now here I say on the side of my Gemara that the Kavanaki changes things dramatically. We'll have to see what exactly we're going on. Amar Leza Tema, B'Makush Ein Rov Dorsi Misados. This is about where play. So it's, yeah, okay, I see what he's changing. Yes, he doesn't change the Girsa. Change the parish, but it's near based on the Gross. So this is pretty good, pretty mainstream. That which it says Makom Shein Rov Darsim Sodas. It's not we're talking about only a Rov Darsim Sodas, but every a kol, all of them. And ours are Ibn Bachia says that it's enough that most people are Darsim Soda. So you need to have kol. Makom Rov Darsim Sodas. If only majority Darsim Sodas. Also, a mute has sitting lidros than the minority who are going to be dores in the field. So let me before we go on. Amakush Rov does says mostly dores in the field. A minority dores in the house. Okay, in which case, of course, it'd be chayav in mises. That mute are again, also mute those the mute who are going to be doris in the house. Hasidim lidros meet starfin. They join together. Where they join together with. Okay, so the two minorities here. There's a minority of people who are doris in the field, in the house to begin with. And of the people who are dores in the sados, there's some who haven't done it yet. It's a double row mute. It's a shocking concept. It's going to the start back here. Again, they have a mute, a double mute. Row people doing the field, but mute doing the house. Other people in the field, most of them have done already. But if you haven't, so it'd be a double mute, right? So this double mute is like a mute hamotzi. That mute seemingly shows the ones which are eventually going to do it in the house are the start to the ones who haven't yet done it in the field, even though they would do it in the field. And therefore, the together, this double mute is more than mute hamotzi, actually. It's a rove against those people already doris in the field. And the grogos that you find are potter, because you have the majority where that haven't yet. Well, they're going to find in the future. Not sure why they're not hefker though. You know, Kaminoki sounds like they're hefker, but they're not hefker. The point, they can still snack from them, but they're not hefker. I'm not sure why he brings hefker in here. I don't know. No, he doesn't. I don't know why Kaminoki brings in hefker. The Gra just says like it's at this point. So pot he can still snack. Okay, sorry, and Kaminoki brings hefker. That seems to be out of place. Okay, but in any event, that brings us to the end of Chavav base. So we will stop here for today.